Welcome to the Unbecoming Hub podcast. Reflections about being human without treating yourself as something to fix. I'm your host, Lacey Kelly. You know that feeling when you've been moving really fast? Life's just busy, you're moving along, and then you stop and everything slows down for a minute, and you have that feeling inside of your body. For me, it's like in my chest, like my insides are still moving fast, even though I'm not actually moving. Is that just me? It's this feeling like I'm going, I'm like running, and I stop and I close my eyes and I feel my heartbeat and I feel my breathing and everything's still moving really fast, even though it doesn't need to. Like my insides haven't caught up to my actual experience. I've been feeling that a lot. Time moves fast these days. My son is now almost 7 months old. And, people always say, oh, time really speeds up once you have kids. And like, wow, they weren't kidding. It kind of feels like the time dilation I experienced from labor just hasn't stopped. Time is such a strange, warped experience now. But I've been reminded how important it is to slow down. And the other night I was putting my son to bed and I was laying there with him, just looking at him. And that always gets me to slow down, gets me realizing how fast I actually am moving inside. When I look at him, I'm like, oh yeah, breathe, Lacey. But the slowing down piece, it's so important. And in unbecoming, it's kind of like phase one, the phase we circle back to all the time, awareness. Awareness is always here. We're always aware. It's just, are we noticing that we're aware? And that moment of return, like, oh yeah, here I am. I'm here. Life is happening. I'm happening. Everything's moving. I'm here. It's like, okay, now we're back in the process again. We have returned. The slowing down is what allows it all to be possible. To actually take the time to pay attention. And when I look at my son, I get such a mix of feelings because on one side, I'm like, I want this moment to last forever. Like, I just want this moment to slow forever. And then I'm immediately like, that would be such a shame for him. He's got a life to live out there. And in the process of unbecoming, talk about one of the lived truths, which is time is not linear. And I used to think about it just in this way of what's happened in the past is affecting the present. So in that way, the past is still the present and everything is kind of existing simultaneously. And now there's this other element to it of time and the speed in which it moves. And how sometimes things can just feel like they're flying, and other times it feels like it's lasting forever. I remember I used to do CrossFit, just a guilty confession. And, in CrossFit, the workouts are really short. This was years ago, can be really short. And when they were only going to be like 4 minutes long, you knew it was going to be the longest 4 minutes of your life. But then I do something like play with my son and the 4 minutes flies. Like it feels like 30 seconds. And so this element of returning, being aware, slowing down, and getting your insides, allowing your insides to match the pace of your life. When I think about that and the sense or feeling of, okay, my inside matching the pace of my life, that if I am paying attention and I'm slowing down and I'm really present in these moments of my life, present in my life in general, my internal world feels so much slower. But when I'm like thinking about 100 things I need to do and all the things I'm worried about, my insides are just going, 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 even if I'm just sitting still. There's a mismatch. Like I'm not actually here. I'm not actually experiencing my life. So if I can remember to slow down and take a breath and anchor myself, that's when I feel like I'm actually living. And that's when time is not linear in the best way, and phase 1 of awareness returns, phase 5 returns of returning because we're coming back. It's like, oh yeah, I left again and here I am again. And now that I'm here, I can organize around what's important to me. And everything just starts to settle. So, just a little bit about the process happening in real time over here. I'm in it with you. And another thing about it too is our bodies are such good regulators, such good anchors to the present. It's like when I have that anchor that slows me down right now, a lot of the time it's my son right now, it slows me down. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here. And immediately my breath changes, my movements change, I am more connected to sensation. And then my body becomes the anchor to here. And that allows me then to be more present in conversations and check in with myself and the people around me. Because connection kind of requires a slower nervous system. Like when we're connecting with people, talking to them, checking in, we actually have to listen, which means we have to be a little slower. And I can feel that. I've been a little distracted lately. And I can tell, sometimes my husband's telling me about something and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta like really listen, pay attention, Lacey, like slow down, hear what he's saying. And even same thing with my son, he's playing or we're doing something and I find myself drifting and I'm like, oh gosh, like come back. And talk about this in phase 5 too, that returning when we come back. There's like that overlap between phase 5 and phase 1 where like we're returning and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm here, phase 1. But what emerges from that recognition of like, oh yeah, I'm here, that's where the meaning of things just gets to fall into place. That as soon as I come back and my insides slow down enough to match my external pace, it's like, oh, okay. Then meaning just emerges from that. Like I immediately feel more fulfilled by the experiences with my son or what I'm observing in my surroundings or the conversation I'm having with my husband. Immediately, everything is more fulfilling. And meaning just arises from that fulfillment. Like, oh yeah, this is what life is about. It's like these moments. The slowing down, such an important element of unbecoming that I don't give enough attention to because it's also one of my Achilles heels. And it's kind of funny. I joke about this with my husband that he used to be the one that moves fast. And now, like, he's a lot more chill and I'm moving all fast and I need to slow down. It's like we've traded spots. And so he's a good reminder too. And he has a lot of grace with it because he's been there. I think we all have those moments where you stop and you realize your heart's been beating way faster than it needs to for really basic things. So, if you're in the same boat I am and you find yourself in a season where you're just moving fast, a little distracted, anything like that, maybe this can just be a reminder for you. Like, you're here. Take a breath and let that orient you again to what's important. I think that's it. See you next time. You can find more of this work at theunbecominghub.com. Until next time.